What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Philly to Detroit Boxing, man. We got another special guest on with us, man. We got Chad, the Candy Man, Pitts on with us, man. What's going on, bro?
What's going on? What's going on?
Not much, man. Again, thank you for coming on, man. Really, like, new guests, we like to know how they really got started in the journey of boxing, man. What got you into this crazy sport?
Man, it's really a long story, bro. It started back when I was living in Alabama. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure it was like closing in on summertime, and I was in school, but I wasn't doing much. Basketball season was over, football season was over, and so I went to my mama, and I was like, "Mama, I want to learn how to defend myself." And so originally, she signed me up for karate class. And so when I got to the karate class, the instructor, like, she was a cool lady, but she was on some weird stuff and things of that nature. I wasn't really feeling it as much. And so after we left the karate class, we're leaving the building, and it's kind of like a storefront. It's multiple storefronts, and all the storefronts are closed except for one thing, and it's the boxing gym. It's open, and the light inside is being illuminated by everything. And so I want to learn how to defend myself. Boxing and defending yourself, they go hand in hand. So I tell my mama, I'm like, let's go into the boxing gym. And so I step into the boxing gym. I smell the air. I hear the music playing. They had Luther Vandross playing. It kind of resonated with me, man. It was just like, I instantly kind of knew, like, yeah, this is where I want to be. This is where I belong. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I was 8 years old around that time.
Right, they had the vibes going on in the gym that day. Luther playing in the
Yeah,
boxing
they
gym.
had Luther Vandross.
And that, at what age you feel like it hit you where you basically kind of decided that, this wasn't just going to be a hobby, that you was going to take it more serious than just learning how to defend yourself. You was going to actually try to compete.
Well, I kind of saw how I was doing against other people in the gym, and like how I was performing against other people just around my state. Because even when I had started off, I think, honestly, I knew it wasn't a hobby probably close to like 3 months in when they took me to my first fight. I didn't fight initially in that fight, but seeing the atmosphere, the cheers, how happy somebody was when they got their hand raised, it was kind of an excitement that really resonated with me deeply. And I was like, I kind of yearned for the feeling. I wanted to know what it was. And in anything that I'm doing, you know what I mean? I want to be the best in it. So I kind of realized, like, the push and shove that comes with boxing, you kind of get it, you kind of get out what you put in. So I would say like around close to 6 months, 6 to 8 months, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take this serious, even if I'm not doing it for a long time, but I'm doing it for a while now.
And then I know y'all like fighting out of Georgia and resonating in Georgia right now, man. How's the boxing scene down in Atlanta, and what's it like down there?
Oh man, it's a beautiful boxing scene. It's kind of tight knit because it's not as big as a boxing city or a boxing state. It's more football and basketball based. But so the boxing community, everybody knows each other, man. It's actually like it's really a community when we travel out to nationals. It's actually really cool. But really for the scene, we don't really have many fighters on. I can really shout out the big names. You have Brian Norman. You got a couple of people, Nathan Lugo. You got Malik Montgomery coming out of Georgia. Then you have some heavy names, good hitters. But honestly, it's not really like a boxing oriented city, such as like some things places like a Michigan or a Philadelphia. You feel me?
Yeah, how would you describe your style of fighting, man? Because we all know like the amateurs has a way they like to see things going in the fight. But how would you like to describe your style of it?
Really, I like to describe my style. Like, I don't really have it. Like, I have an amateur style, but like that's just because it's being tuned for that as of right now. I like to think of my style as like I want to take my career far. You feel me? So one thing about me is punishment is a no go. I don't really like taking a whole lot of punishment. You know what I mean? I can stand in the fire and handle what I gotta handle, but 9 times out of 10, you're gonna catch me. I'm at the end of the jab. I'm pot shotting a guy from the outside. I'm using my angles. You know what I mean? And I'm a switch hitter. I fight both ways, even though realistically, to be honest, like, I don't really even classify myself as a switch hitter anymore because it's kind of just how I fight. It became such a part of me, like just moving back and forth between stances because I've been doing it since I started. My dad he really stressed that in the training when I was coming up. Anything that I would do from the orthodox side, because I'm naturally right-handed, Anything I would do from the orthodox side, my dad would make sure that I'm doing the exact same movement, the exact same way, the exact same speed from the southpaw side. So the muscle memory has just always been building ever since I've been learning the sport. So naturally, whenever I'm in the ring or anything like that, I don't even know what stance I'm in half the time. To be honest, I'm just in there fighting.
Right. It's kind of getting that flow state after a while.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking on the amateur career, speak on the journey of your amateur career so far. Like, was it hard when you first started? Did you have to lose a couple fights before you start getting in your groove, or how was that?
I believe I started off kind of normal. You know, I won some, I lost a couple, but recent in like during like the early stages, losing was a little bit more apparent. But as I kind of grew up and like the rounds started to get like longer, because you know when you're younger, the round a minute 30, it's kind of really hard to show all the skill that you have in there. Somebody can come in there and just rush you and take the decision from you. It was like I won definitely a lot more than I lost. But my record isn't, perfect by any means or even ideal for how I like it right now. But as of lately, these last couple of years, 16, 17, 18, 19, when the rounds start getting longer and the skills start disparaging, I've probably lost like in the past 3 years, maybe 2 to 3 times. And I done fought a hefty amount. So I'm kind of liking how I'm coming into it. You know what I mean? Moving into the elite level, because it's definitely a slower pace. And that's kind of where I thrive. You know what I mean? I love to use my mind. I'm a thoughtful boxer. I'm very methodical in the ring. A lot of stuff I'm analyzing. I'm always downloading information from my opponents. So, the 3-minute round adjustment has definitely been a lot better for me. But amateur boxing, I don't want to say it's as hard, because really, like, the fight is won in the gym. Mm-hmm. So I kind of know how a fight's going to turn out based on what I've been doing, even outside of the gym and training, and just how seriously I've been taking it leading up to that. So realistically, when I'm like focused and everything's going perfect, I haven't had no hiccups, I haven't got sick or anything like that, I go into every single fight confident, like, yeah, he's probably not even going to touch me, which has been the case these last couple of go-arounds.
No, thanks. I was just going to say, we just watching some clips of you, and that describes it right there. He could not touch you in there, so.
Not at all.
And what weight you currently fighting at?
Most recently, I was fighting at 125 at the past nationals, but I'm pretty sure I plan on moving up to like 132. Even though I'm 19, I'm still growing. I was a late bloomer, kind of. I didn't hit puberty until 16 for real. So honestly, I might continue growing in my amateur career. I might end up at 39. Who knows?
Right. And how long do you see yourself staying in the amateurs? Because you're describing your style, it kind of sound like it's suited more for the pros, where you have more time, to set your shots up and things of that nature. How long do you want to stay in the amateurs before you make that switch to go to the pros?
Me and my pops, we definitely have a roadmap planned out. We got different steps, different things we wanna do before we turn pro. But definitely sooner than later. I'm thinking, honestly, my goal is within the next year, June 2025. I want to be making my pro debut around my birthday. Most likely, anything, I'm probably going to be making my debut. Cutting weight as an amateur and cutting weight as a pro is two different things. Because when I'm cutting weight as an amateur, I got to hold the weight for the whole week of the tournament. So I kind of don't like to stress myself. Like, usually I'll walk around, I'm probably 37. I'm 37 right now. And I'll cut 5 pounds, and that's easy to maintain and hold for the whole week. So honestly, when I'm a pro, I might mess around and fight at 26, 22, to be honest.
Yeah, how you like boxing right now, man? Just the state of boxing in general today. Do you see how just the way things going? We got Turki Al-Sheikh kind of entering the game and changing things around. How you just like the state of things right now?
Honestly, man, I know a lot of people aren't a fan of Turki, but I kind of like the way he's doing things. Pooling all the money together in one area to draw all the best to the area. I feel like that's how boxing should be. I feel like we kind of moved away from it, taking easier fights for more money in the Floyd Mayweather Jr. era, which by no means, no disrespect to the GOAT or anything like that, the greatest fighter of all time, truthfully. But I feel like as a fan, it can make you feel like, man, I really want to see him and him fight, but it's not. It's a lot of politics that go into it, crossing the street. I feel like Turki pulling it all under one umbrella, I feel like it's going to bring more entertaining fights to boxing, and it's going to be a lot more fan friendly, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and he just got different things going on, different ideas. A few months ago, he had a 5-on-5, nobody doing nothing like that. You know what I mean? Just different ideas that nobody thinking of.
Yeah, man, that 5-on-5 card was beautiful, man. It actually broke my heart when I saw Ray Ford lose that fight to Nick Ball. I had it 114 to 112.
No, that was a good fight, man. Because I was picking Ray to win that fight too, but I knew Nick Ball was coming with some heat though. I knew he was a great fighter, but I mean, it was a real close fight, man. With your pops being just such a massive boxing fan, you know him and Coach Brownell got their own podcast going on. How does that kind of motivate you, or how does he kind of encourage you to keep going and get the best out of yourself with this?
You know, the podcast, seeing my dad talk to and really just getting connected with a lot of people in the, like, I don't want to say like the higher world of boxing, is kind of making me realize that, that could be me one day getting interviewed. And to be honest, it's kind of making me excited because this is my first interview ever, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of excited right now to start. But it's really funny because whenever we go to national tournaments, my dad's more popular than I am because everybody's seeing his face because of the clips he's uploading online. It's actually kind of funny. But yeah, it definitely does motivate me to get in a position where somebody will want to bring me onto their podcast and interview me more often. So I really do appreciate y'all, the Boxing Syndicate, for bringing me on, for real.
Oh no, facts, bro. You already know. You always welcome too, man. We always do like follow-up interviews too, just kind of after fights and stuff like that. So we definitely gonna be tapping back in with you. You got anything planned coming up? Any fights, any tournaments, anything like that?
Yeah, man. Other than the normal, the weekend club shows, I got a club show next week. Hopefully, I'm gonna bring a photographer and a real filmer to get out there. I want to make another edit. You feel me? I really want to focus on like branching out and getting my name out there because a boxer can be as skilled as they want, but like if they don't have no marketing or no team behind them pushing them, bro, it's only as far as they can go. So I'm really taking the brand aspect of boxing a little bit more serious now. But I got a couple club shows coming up. It's nationals in December. I plan on documenting that whole experience, kind of like a vlog almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to live stream during my club shows. I want to live stream during fights. I kind of want to get connected. You know what I mean? The people who are watching me and get close. Everybody likes to keep an arm's distance. You know what I mean? But I'm open to collabing and just interacting with a community that really like is a fan of me and enjoys me for me. You know what I mean?
No, facts, and especially in today's world, man. Obviously, with social media, everybody doing something with social media, and that's just gonna help build your brand. You know what I mean? And then especially when you're trying to turn pro. I mean, at the end of the day, it is prize fighting. We trying to make, y'all trying to make some money for real. You know what I mean? That's only gonna help at the end of the day.
Most definitely.
And then I did want to ask about I know y'all real tight with Brian Norman. Obviously, they got their thing going on with the boots in his camp right now. I know y'all, how you feel about that whole situation going on?
Man, I've been arguing on Twitter, man, all week, man.
I know y'all probably.
Jerron Boots Ennis, man, incredible fighter, spectacular, almost. Actually, it's kind of amazing seeing the stuff that he does in the ring. But kind of being around Brian and like seeing his ideology and his mindset, man. I don't think, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I don't think there's a man at 147 on earth that can mess with Brian Norman Jr. as of right now. He's just like an animal. And the whole situation going on, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's just boxing politics. People get one idea in their head about one thing and start calling somebody a duck when there's so many more things going into it that nobody has no idea about. You know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Hopefully, I see the fight getting made down the line. I don't think any dude is scared of either man, to be honest. And honestly, I see the fight getting made summer of 2025. But I kind of don't like it when the fans, when the fans don't really, I mean, obviously their fans are casuals and they have no idea what really goes into the sport, but they're really quick to have an opinion on stuff they really have no idea about. And it kind of makes it frustrating being a boxer and seeing the fans react like this, knowing what really goes into it. You feel me?
No, fact. Yeah, Gio, we was hitting on the Brian Norman and Boots. I just kind of asked him how he felt about the situation.
that's how this interview came about. Me and your pops was talking about that whole situation for a long time, and then that's when we
Yeah,
started talking about you and everything.
yeah,
But yeah, like I said, I agree with you. I don't think neither one of them. I don't think neither one of them scared of each other. But politics, it'll never really be as simple as two guys wanting to fight each other.
No, it's never that simple. We know that. And then, man, who some guys you like to get some game from? Man, some guys you like to watch or kind of study?
Well, I met this one fighter when I was honestly, man. All of my favorite fighters really do not like each other, man. Javante Davis, he came into my gym when I was around 11, 12 years old. That was the first time I met him. And shortly after meeting Javante Davis, I met Devin Haney, not knowing they would be like, at odds in
Right.
the future. And I kind of fell in love with both guys in the moment. You know what I mean? I kind of fell in love with Tanks. People don't realize how sharp Tank is, man. But I kind of like, you kind of see the focus in his eyes. Nothing goes unanswered with Tank, man. He's counter punching everything, and it's so beautiful. But with Devin Haney, I fell in love with his jab. I've been watching Devin Haney since he was 16. He's been just always had a beautiful jab, long jab, great boxing, and his inside game is super underrated because of how long his arms is. People don't realize how difficult it is to really work on the inside with such long arms like that. And so seeing the way he contorts his body, the way he throws punches from different angles, and honestly, just the work ethic of Devin Haney, man. It's just his work ethic is something serious. It's actually really crazy how hard he works, even though like he just doesn't have to. You know what I mean? Being able to get up every day knowing you don't have to, knowing you're comfortable, but still going at it and chasing a legacy and goal, it's something I can't do nothing but admire.
No, in fact, we talk about that all the time. Just kind of some fighters kind of getting content, when they start making real money for real, and then they next fight out, you kind of see that they don't be the same because they probably didn't train as hard because they made that bag. So it's like I definitely see
Yeah,
what you're saying. As far as Devin, he stay on it. It don't matter if he make 20 million, 30 million, he is on it.
for sure, man. It's definitely admirable.
And tell us a little bit about your team, man. Who's the people that's kind of in the background helping you get ready and prepared, and that's about to help you get to the next level?
Man, I gotta really give all thanks to my dad, man. He really, my dad never boxed a day in his life, man. Football playing his whole life, and as soon as I kind of let him know that like I was interested in boxing, he really took the time to meticulously learn the sport and put me in positions where he know I needed to be. Like really, I would be nothing without my father, man. Like I really owe everything to that man. Like any ounce of skill, anytime I didn't want to go to the gym, he would push me. He taught me discipline. It's so many lessons that I could say about my dad that I really owe everything to my dad because out of everybody from start to finish, what I mean, he's just always been there. But really my team, I have a good team at Hitsville Boxing Gym. It's kind of a community almost like I had said. Everybody gets pointers from everybody. There's a lot of great coaches. You have Coach Bo, Coach Axel, you got Coach Ty, Coach Trey, Coach Barry. Coach Barry has been helping me levels because I used to struggle with the inside game of fighting. Coach Barry has been showing me different levels of fighting, how to make a fight easier. He's been showing me how to be comfortable in the pocket. Coach Byron just giving me a different perspective because, Coach Byron, he's been involved in numerous of world championship bouts, and I've only gone as far as nationals. So hearing him, hearing the mindset, the business side of boxing, that's also been greatly helpful. And I cannot go on without saying one more name. Coach Zahir Rahim, 1996 Olympian, man. He basically laid the foundation for who I am as a boxer. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be anything without Coach Zahir Rahim, man. He's a beautiful boxer, man, for sure. Yeah.
Who's some of the best guys that you shared the ring with, whether it's being in an amateur fight or sparring?
Um, I can, man. There's been and hats off to any man I've been in the ring with. Respect because it takes a lot to do that. At the end of the day, I'll say the best fighter I've ever shared the ring with ever is definitely Brian Norman Jr. He was showing me a few pointers and things of that nature. He was helping me with a couple of things, and seeing the way his mind works, seeing the steps he takes, seeing just the little stuff, the philosophy of it, because really people don't talk about it, but boxing, you know they say is training hard, but you need the mental to be able to do that. And seeing the mental he has, you know what I mean? It kind of put me in the position to know what I need to do during training and how I need to be thinking while training. But Brian Norman Jr., you know, Carmel Moden, it's hard to think, man. I've shared the ring with multiple different, with many different. There's this one guy, I forgot his full name, but his name is Joseph Awinga. It's hard to say his name.
I would know
African
you.
dude, tall African
I would
guy.
know you. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's raw. That boy is
He
tough.
fire. Yeah, we had him on too before. Yeah.
Really, yeah. JoJo, he's good. I really wish I could think of them all in 1 second. Y'all might have to come back to me on that question though.
Yeah, in fact, I know you probably been in there, you know, with a lot of guys as far, you know, at this point in your stage in your career for sure.
Yeah.
JoJo and Camaro, that's two high level.
Nah,
They both won like 20 nationals. But like, just
Yeah,
naming
man,
them
it's actually
two
kind of crazy.
Yeah, just naming them two and Brian Norman. That's crazy resume.
Then the fights coming up, man. We do got some decent fights coming up this month in September, man. We got Inoue coming up. We already feel like we know what's gonna happen there. But then then we got Canelo Berlanga, man. Are you giving Berlanga a shot?
Man, of course everybody got a puncher's chance, man, always. But I just feel like Canelo at this point in his career, he's too fine-tuned to even kind of slip up and let anything, you know, spectacular happen. I just don't think Berlanga, you know, hats off to Berlanga, excellent fighter. He's in the position he's in for a complete reason, probably an incredibly hard worker. I just feel like he doesn't have the experience to kind of deal with Canelo. And I feel like the way Canelo fights is kind of like inevitable. You know what I mean? He's always going to be in your face. He's never really giving you a moment to mentally relax in the ring. And I think that's really the biggest thing with Canelo is the mental relaxation, because he's super duper calm, but he's just right in front of you. One step and Canelo has a jab on your nose, and it's just like that can get really tiring to somebody in the ring. So I don't think Canelo was going to lose, but I wouldn't know. Like, I'm not opposed to Berlanga doing something spectacular and pulling out a W at all.
That happened, man. That man gonna be on top of the world. He going there and knock out Canelo.
For sure.
How you feel about the Terrence Crawford versus Canelo rumors? Do you think it's possible TC could pull that off, or you think it's weight classes for a reason?
I honestly think there's weight classes for a reason, but if there was any man on this earth to move up 3 weight classes and beat a giant, like not a giant, but just like a person who's been floating around the pound for pound list for a decade almost, Canelo Alvarez, is Bud Crawford. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Definitely Bud Crawford.
Somebody. That's a tall tag.
Honestly, I just don't think that Bud's just big enough. You know what I mean? I think the size advantage is gonna just start weighing down, because not only is it just like skill, but when you're clinched up with somebody, you're using energy, they're weighing down on you. And yeah, I believe Bud is in terrific shape. You know, he weight lifts a lot. But I just feel like Canelo is too experienced of a fighter to let somebody come up 3 weight classes and kind of best him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you kind of feel like Bud's last fight at 54 kind of showed the, you know, the weight classes matter for real? Because obviously, you know, the Madrimov, he, you know, for the most part put up a good fight. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of that, you know, that fight kind of really showed people that he probably should make that move.
Yeah. And the thing is with that, you know, Madrimov, man, you know, that's a dangerous boy still too. And honestly, the fact that Terrence Crawford did what he did to Madrimov, I don't want to say it didn't kind of really shift my opinion as much, because, you know, Madrimov was Dmitry Bivol's main sparring partner, you know, leading up to Canelo fights and many other fights he's had. So honestly, you know what I mean? The Madrimov, it definitely did show like he got some human to him, but honestly, I don't think it didn't really sway my opinion that I already had against, you know, the Terrence Crawford Canelo fight, because I originally believed, like, even like before he fought Madrimov, that the size would just be too much. You know what I mean? And it shows even when David Benavidez moved up to his weight class, you know what I mean? People say it's a more natural weight for him, but you see, usually David Benavidez uses his size to like just walk somebody down, intimidate, and just melt somebody. But he couldn't do that to the I'm not sure where he's from. Is he Ukrainian?
Yeah, Ukrainian.
Yeah, he couldn't do that to the Ukrainian man. So, you know, moving up 6 pounds is crazy, let alone 20 to however much it was between Bud and Canelo.
Yeah.
No, facts. We talk about that too all the time because David Morrell moved up his last fight to the 175 and looked a little shaky. And you know
Yeah,
what I'm
man.
saying?
I didn't
So
get
yeah.
really a chance to catch the David Morrell fight, but I heard he's an amazing fighter. Like I really do have to tune in next time. I was kind of mad that I didn't catch it live.
No, he a dog for sure, but I think he chasing David Benavidez, so he moved up to 75 again too as well.
That's
And then
exactly.
he looked a little shaky though. His opponent kind of had him, until he got comfortable. He looked a little shaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he moved up for David though. He definitely chasing David. David chasing Canelo and David chasing David. So everybody chasing somebody, man.
Yeah, man.
And these so it's like that's crazy. The Shakur and Tank fight, is you leaning towards anyway in that fight, or you look at it as 50-50?
I cannot lie, man. Shakur Stevenson might have the best defense of this generation. And honestly, if he keeps putting on defensive master classes, he has an argument for all time. But it's kind of the same thing. Like I feel like Shakur Stevenson, out of anybody at lightweight, has the best chance of beating Gervonta Davis. But it's kind of like Canelo, where it's kind of inevitable. Like at some point, because of his sharpness, and like that's something that goes untalked about, his sharpness. You know what I mean? And Philly Shell Tank South on Southpaw, that's something dangerous. We saw it against Hector Garcia. We saw it against who else is a Southpaw that he had faced recently? I'm not sure. Frank Martin, actually. Frank Martin, his last fight. So Philly Shell Tank is dangerous, and I feel like inevitably, just in the later rounds, just it's kind of hard to stay that sharp to not get caught with anything. And I'm not saying if Shakur gets caught once, he's getting his lights put out. I just feel like just Tank just knows how to kind of wear somebody down and then just, flip that switch. You feel me? So I got Tank, but I would say the fight isn't 50-50. I would say 60-40.
I can understand that.
Thanks.
Especially after Shakur's last couple performances, people kind of starting to sway that way as well. You know what I mean? Even if they had Shakur beating him at one point, the last couple of performances, people starting to sway towards Tank now. You know what I mean? Just because, he just letting his hands go.
I had Shakur for a long time, but every time I watch Tank fight, it's definitely hard to stay on that bandwagon. Though
it's kind of like wow.
Yeah,
because of the sharpness that you speak of, because it's kind of like the Bivol and better fight. I just feel like Bivol have to be levels above him to outdo the physical like bully mentality that he have. If you just one level above him on a boxing aspect, it won't be enough to overdo like the physical power he's gonna bring. So that's how I used to feel with Shakur and Tank. I used to think Shakur might have been 3-4 levels, but now watching Tank progress over the years, I'm like, dang, he more of a boxer than a puncher. He just knocked people out so good that it's kind of hard for the average fan to catch that. Because if you think about it, he throw 33 punches a round. That's the lowest punch output out among any champion. So literally, if he ain't knocked people out, he would be the most boring champion in boxing. Literally, if he didn't punch like that. So people, it's hard to grasp that. He's really more of a boxer than a puncher. They lights go out, so he gets labeled as a puncher.
Yeah, I agree.
No, man.
Facts. And he do it off his back foot. Usually people who punch that hard, they kind of fight like David Benavidez. They try to put the power on you because they know like I hit hard. Eventually you're going to fold. So to see somebody hit that hard and still go out there and be that calculating and all that, still fighting off his back foot when he could really just, like I said, fight like David. Like I'm just going to put this power on you round after round after round. You're going to eventually fold. He still come out like a boxer.
For sure, man. It kind of just goes to show, like, even with the Rolly knockout, he was stepping back on that, man. That was crazy. It's kind of like his power kind of reminds me of, like, I don't want to say like it reminds me of Deontay Wilder, like where it's like it just don't matter what's going on. It's just a brick in his hand.
I was saying that too. I ain't gonna lie, that's a fact. Cause I like basically how Tyson Fury had to get up to beat Wilder. I said Tank's starting to give me vibes like if somebody gonna beat him, they gonna have to get up to beat him. Because it's gonna be hard to go 12 straight without him touching that chin at least once.
Exactly. Without at least a flash knockdown.
Word. Yeah, so man. You're gonna have to probably be doing your thing before the knockdown, and then you're gonna have to get up, go through some stuff, and then go back to doing your thing. That's what Tyson did. He was doing this thing before the knockdown, then had to go through something because you got knocked down. So now Wilder trying to get you up out of here. That's what you gotta go through. But once he don't get you up out of here, that's when you gotta get back on it. And Tank, that's what it's looking like. It's looking like anybody that's a natural 35-pounder, you're probably not gonna take that shot. You're probably gonna have to be a 40-pounder or 47-pounder.
Yeah. I mean, and we seen that in Mario Barrios. You know what I mean? He was eating face shots. I was actually at that Mario Barrios fight. Electric energy. Oh my God! And when I saw Tank place that body shot, it was just something serious. It was a sense of excitement just shot through my body. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that
it's like,
was like uppercut, something like that.
yeah, man. Nah, he has the best uppercut in boxing for sure, man. It's the most underused punch, honestly.
Word. And it's like people, I feel like it. Boxers probably feel like it puts you in harm's way a lot. That's probably why I don't get used. But that's just an assumption.
Yeah, man. We've been leaning towards using the uppercut a lot more during training, and it's really like when you really lock in and use it for real, like the way it's supposed to be intentionally used, it opens up a whole lot of combos.
Yeah. That's why it's sharp. Like I said, most people they don't really throw sharp. That's why that knockout Mason had was because it was coming from an uppercut. Most people, like I said, they really not gonna throw sharp uppercuts like that.
No, not at all.
Where you see yourself, man? Next 5 years, where's Chad Pitt see yourself, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Next 5 years, man. Hopefully the goal definitely be professional by then. You know what I mean? I'll be a graduate from Morehouse College. That's something to
Okay.
be proud of as well. But next 5 years, hopefully I'll be, in contention or, just like in the mix for getting a title shot and things of that nature. I don't want to rush nothing when it comes to this boxing thing. I want to take my time, but I really have no idea. Maybe I'll be within a title shot in the next 5 years. Maybe I'll be in a number one contender fight for a title shot, fighting for an interim title shot. But something regarding a title within the next 5 years, man. I want to really go ahead and get right to it because, you know what I mean? With the boxing thing, it's like the sport cool, man, but like the longer you stick around, bro, the more punishment, the less your body can do, man. You know what I mean? Next 5 years, I want to be really, really dialing in on the title shot. I want to get it early.
Yeah.
I forgot to bring up the you going to school. Is that kind of like one of the reasons that you could like getting your degree in another department because you don't want to box like all your life? Like you plan on retiring and going to go do something else and try to be great at something else?
Ever since I was a kid, I've been just multi-talented, you know what I mean? And being a boxer, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm an excellent, great boxer, and I feel like I will be remembered for my boxing. But I kind of want to be known for just being me, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of different avenues that I plan on taking, even while I'm boxing. You know what I mean? Pursuing content creation while I'm in the sport. So when I'm out of the sport, I can do content creation because I already have a fan base or something like that. I plan on definitely getting my degree in computer science because I've always had a passion for computers since I was young. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm multi-talented. I feel like I don't want to say it would be a waste, but like this is life is so much more than just boxing. You know what I mean? You have a whole another life after boxing, and you kind of see it in boxers after they retire. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to say like the brain moves slower. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like their whole life be surrounded by boxing because even when they were a young bull, they was 5, 6. They got groomed to box. They boxed through their teenage years, boxed through their 20s. You know what I mean? You come 35 and you've been boxing your whole life. I kind of want to explore every single aspect of life. You know what I mean?
Fact. And then how is kind of like one more question. It's kind of like like you said, you going to Morehouse, man. Obviously, well-renowned school down there in Atlanta. How is doing that and kind of juggling training and going to school? How is that?
Nah, man, it's definitely a hassle and it can definitely get stressful at times. You know what I mean? Especially being a computer science major, you kind of got to hunker down and like just learn to really put like your priorities first. Because, being down here in the South, beautiful HBCU is lots of parties going on. You know what I mean? But I kind of found a routine and kind of found a way to stay grounded in doing what I'm doing and realizing that, everything has its purpose and I'm doing everything I'm doing right now for a reason to be great in the future. So, it's definitely difficult at times. I have a real bad case of FOMO. I hate missing out on things. You know what I mean? But when I really lock in on my higher purpose and my priorities, it kind of makes all the feelings of that go away. And I kind of really, it allows me to lock in the way I'm supposed to.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, because I know that's going down Morehouse, man. You got obviously all the schools down there. You got Spelman across the street. You got everything else around, man. I know I can understand how it could be a hassle for sure.
Yes, indeed.
My God, bro, Chad the Candy Man Pitts, bro. Thank you again for coming on, bro. And then let the
Thanks
people
for
know where they
having
can
me.
find you at.
Yeah, y'all can find me on Instagram at chad.npr or at thecandymanpits. You know what I mean? I'm also on YouTube. I be uploading from time to time. Just search up Chad Pitts Boxing. I'll pop up and things of that nature. I appreciate y'all for bringing me on, bro. It's been a beautiful interview, man.
Yes, sir. We're gonna have you back too for sure.
For sure, man.